Welcome to a special edition of How to Be an Army of One in Sales. I'm your sales sensei, Joe Marcoux, and I am with a very special guest at his place of business. I'm at Luca Cursor's Kettlebell Club. I'm here in Montreal. Where specifically are we in Montreal? Because
we're in Pointe Claire City.
Yeah,
so it's part of the West Island in Montreal, and it's just a small little city, but it's part of many sub-cities that we have in Montreal.
So if you're from Montreal, you know Pointe Claire or Pointe Claire, and if you're not from Montreal, like you can also look up Luca online. We're going to mention that. So welcome to the How to Be an Army of One in Sales podcast, show, buddy. Thanks for having me here.
Likewise.
Yeah. We just had an amazing lunch, because if you've never been to Montreal, one of the things is a smoked meat. When I told you I was coming out, I'm like, yeah, let's just get together. And you said, what do you like to eat? And I mean, I like to eat everything. And then I said, well, you know, at home we don't have this thing called Saint-Hubert. It's a specific chicken place. And then he said, no, I got something special. And we ended up going to this, like just a small boutique. They've been in business 26 years, smoked meat place, right around the corner. It was literally, we had meat and coleslaw. And if you've never had a Montreal smoked meat, but let's get down to business.
It's a good thing you didn't mention poutine.
No, that's not in our vocabulary. Talk about rich. So let's get into it. You've been in business in your business for how many years now?
It's going to be 8 years.
So it's going to be 8 years. You're in year 7. When did you pick up your first kettlebell?
That was over 12 years ago.
Okay.
And the story is, I was in jail and I got arrested. I got locked up in prison for 7 years in my 20s. And I found the kettlebell by chance. Maybe not by chance, but I ended up using the kettlebell there before using it on the outside.
So if we're just going to dive right in, and if those of you who know me, I'm going to be transparent. There's one thing that we all have a message, and your mess is your message. You've gone through something, and now you've come, obviously, because knowing what I know about you, what would you say saved you in that environment?
It was the environment itself, Joe, to be honest, because I think if I would have left that place too early, I would have went back to my old ways.
Wow.
I needed that time. I needed 7 years to transform or to change myself and to get away from all those things I was doing.
Dude, that's 7 years. When you think of it, like when you were 20, that's a third of your life.
Yeah.
And so you came out a better man.
Yeah.
You can't say that about a lot of people that go in an environment like a prison.
The problem is a lot of people go back to prison after they come out.
Right.
They go back quickly to the old habits that they had, dealing drugs, using drugs, or whatever have you, and then they go back to prison.
Right.
So I was lucky enough to have a strong support team, a support system, and friends and family to help me rehabilitate myself on my return. And I knew what I wanted, pretty much.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do. I had a strong, dream to fulfill.
So tell me and tell us all, what's the dream? Because you've got a very successful business. Your business is growing. You've been getting some training. You've just recently got back from Venice.
Yeah.
What's the dream? What's this vision that you have for yourself and this community?
Yeah, the dream was to open up a school.
Okay.
A school of training where I can have my own students and teach them the way. Kind of like you, the way you do it, right?
Yeah.
So you have your dojo
Yes.
of sales. I have my dojo of strength.
Love it.
And it's a bit of the same in a way, right?
Of course it is.
And we've changed over the years. We've adapted. You had to adapt. COVID put a stick in our wheel.
Yeah, because you had to close the door during COVID, right?
Exactly.
How long were you closed for?
At least 2 years, off and on. And what they did was they give us a piece of candy and then they took it away. Say, okay, you can open now, and then they close us back down again. And then you can only train outside, and then they gradually worked our way back
indoors. Okay.
So
you get back indoors. When you first opened your business, what was sales like for you at that point? Because were you the only staff at that? Like you opened the doors and that's it.
It was me and Tanya.
Okay.
It was me and Tanya. We were working together. She was my girlfriend at the time. This lady over here.
Yeah.
And it was really awkward we had taken a program by another business coach that we had hired, and he was teaching us all the aspects of basically opening up your program, let's say a 12-week program, to selling it, to doing ads, how to do ads on Facebook, how to have a funnel, using ClickFunnels and everything, which is everyone probably started with that.
Sure.
And how to do sales. But it was so awkward at the beginning. It was like, I think if I remember my first sales, I'll never forget. It was so awkward that like the person had to leave, and we just felt really awkward.
Right.
It was like a pressure sale, and I felt like I was pressuring the person into a sale.
Right.
So my first experience was like that in sales.
And it's bizarre, right? Because when you're in that position where you're looking to help someone, and if you feel off, the person across the desk from you or wherever you're walking around, like they've got to pick up that energy from you as well.
Yeah.
And then the whole idea of sales falls to the wayside. Before we got it started, we were speaking with Lisa.
Yep.
And Lisa's been learning what you've been learning, and like the level of passion that she has to helping people. And what did she say? It's not salesy at all. So what are her sales like this week?
Oh, it's great. Since last week, she said she closed over 11K.
11K.
In sales.
Yeah. And how many square feet have you got here?
Under 2,000.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's not a big place.
Doesn't need to be a big place to be a successful place. No. And you've got 2 locations.
2 locations.
When did you make the jump to a second location?
A few years ago, and I decided I could do it. I said, I deserve more. I can do it. But then reality set in, where you have overhead, you have staff, and you have sometimes doesn't necessarily you make more money, but you also need to make more profit.
Yeah.
So more money doesn't always equal to profit.
Right.
Because you have more expenses in a way, right?
Sure.
So you have to find ways to be more profitable, even with more staff or a bigger community.
So now here you are, almost at 8 years in the business. When you look at where you started in the approaches that you first learned to what you're doing now, and clearly it's successful. So just out of curiosity, what have you seen change in sales for you?
Great.
And there's no wrong answer. I mean, how has it evolved for you over 8 years?
Yeah, great question. At the beginning, when we first started sales, it was pretty much a do-it-yourself approach.
Okay.
Or is it like do it on the fly?
Right.
We had some idea of how the sales should go, but to get the formal training has been a game changer. So that's what we were lacking, is the formal training. The in-person training where we do in your dojo.
Right.
Whereas it's been helping me and the team just get more comfortable talking to people.
Right.
And I think that's what it is being comfortable. Because when you make it about sales, then it becomes the objective. But when you make it about just relations, making about them and getting to know them, the sales comes more naturally.
Yeah.
Because you're really genuinely trying to help them, and they see that and they feel that. So I think that's been the transformation since we started working together since the beginning of the year.
Where do you see this going now that you've got a process that's working? Again, you've shared this, you've got 2 locations, you talked about a school.
Correct.
That, again, where you start with your vision and where that evolves, where do you see this going?
Great question. So
curious.
I would love to maybe have a 3rd location and have my online business. But before we do that, I want to make sure all the systems are operating to they're optimized.
Right.
For example, I want to make sure we're getting qualified leads through the door. So now we're putting in application forms, which in the past we never did that. In the past, I used to do sales over the phone.
Right.
And we used to get leads, call them, and make the sale over the phone.
Sure.
Until we switched over to in person.
Right.
And that changed our you could say our conversion rate. We were able to make more sales and also charge a higher price.
Good.
And so now our approach is being refined even more. We're just refining our process even more. So that we're, we don't want to necessarily get unqualified people for our sales team because we'll be wasting their time. My sales team. So we're putting application forms into place and making sure the people that apply are ready, willing, and they want to invest.
What's the most fun for you in this business?
Good. Teaching.
Yeah. When you say teaching, is it teaching people on the floor, or is it teaching people the aspect of the operations of the business that you have on your team?
All kinds.
Okay.
I think all types of teaching, which is teaching kettlebells. But when I learned from you, I teach my team.
Yeah.
You know, so it's also, if someone wants to learn a business, fine, I'll teach them.
Sure.
You know, but they have to have the drive and willing to do something with that.
Right.
But it's whoever wants to learn. I'm passionate about teaching. You know, helping others as well.
So talk to me a little bit about this recent trip to Venice. I just assumed when you said, yeah, I'm in Venice, Italy, I'm thinking, oh, he's gone on a holiday.
Right.
And I mean, you know, there's obviously flights from Montreal to Venice direct, so that's great. Tell me a little bit about that. Explain me some details of what went on there.
Absolutely. It was a short stay, Joe.
Yeah, you mentioned.
It was kind of like land and take off, so to speak. So I was only there for the weekend, but it was well worth it because I was there meeting my mentor, kind of like this is going on here.
Yeah.
But I have another mentor. His name is Pavel Tsatsouline.
He's a legend. He's a legend in the kettlebell space.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned this to me at lunch, I was literally like, what? Like, yeah. Like flabbergasted. So you've been working with Pavel for how long now?
Yeah, it's been close to 10 years.
That's awesome.
It's been close to 10 years. Now I teach their courses. I also assist at their certifications to teach them, and I travel still taking his courses.
Of course.
Because I never stop learning. I'm always a student.
So is he based in Venice, or was that just a place where it's like, hey, we're going to meet in Venice because it's a local spot and it's like it's easy for everybody to get to?
Yeah, he's actually based in California.
Okay.
I think he's in Venice Beach, I believe.
But you went to Venice, Italy.
I went to Venice, Italy, correct.
Yeah.
But I think he travels. He has a place in another location in the States where he travels to as well. But he's based in stateside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to go to Venice, Italy, you went and did some work with Pavel. Did you get a chance to do any fun?
Of course.
What did you do
Absolutely.
for fun? What did you tell me a little bit about the things you did for fun.
Oh, our first night there, I went out with some friends. We went out to this awesome restaurant, and we were in this little town called Vicenza.
Okay.
And it's a very small local town, but it's very architecturally stunning. We go there, there's a cobblestone streets, and the architecture is amazing. By the way, the whole seminar was done in a museum, and with 17th century paintings. It was just unbelievable.
That's great.
With Roman architecture and artifacts and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just mind-blowing just to be back there. And it was really hot, by the way.
Oh yeah, is that right?
Venice. It was really hot. So first day there, I had to buy myself a fisherman's hat.
Yeah. So you don't burn.
I don't burn.
Fair enough.
But it was beautiful. I got a few nice gifts from my friends, like those Venice masks, because they're very famous for those.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever been there before,
but
Venice is like a labyrinth.
Yeah.
With like streets, and there's because
and
it's a floating city.
It's a floating city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stunning city. If you ever have a chance.
It's on the list. I can promise you, I will get there before my days are done.
So I had fun. I ate some delicious food.
What are some of the foods you ate? I mean, by the way, if you can't see this, we meet and we hug, and I'm in shape. You're like built out of granite, bro. Like you're like hard as a stone. It's awesome. It's a testament of the work that you're doing because you live the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what my girlfriend tells me.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
So what did you like when you go out and have fun and you're in Venice? What are some of the foods that you ate just for fun?
Pizza, of course.
Yeah.
Any type of pasta.
And
but the pasta there is made out of a special wheat that they have. It's like a local wheat.
Yeah.
And it's different than what they have.
You don't
in
have
North
the
America.
bloating like you do here.
No, you don't. It just tastes really good.
Oh.
And there's no bloating, like you said.
Right. No gluten or something.
No gluten. Yeah, that's it. So it tastes really good. And gelato, of course.
Okay.
Anything else you can have locally, like different wines.
Yeah.
And we just enjoy.
Good for
enjoy
you,
the
man.
food. Anywhere you go, you're gonna enjoy the food.
Yeah,
no matter
for
what,
sure.
Even at the airport.
That's the thing, right? Travel gives you the opportunity to get a taste of the local scene, and it's one of the things that, again, I come to Montreal, like I don't want to eat what I can have back in Winnipeg. You can't get a Montreal smoked meat like here in Winnipeg. You can get smoked meat sandwiches. It's not the same. I promise you. You know, whether it was here, which was what was it called? the place that we went to? I can't
Great question.
Yeah. So, and then we went to that one, and then, you know, like, you can always go to a Schwartz downtown Montreal. Like, you can't get that in Winnipeg. You just can't. So, when it came for you to get your second salesperson, because it's one thing to be able to do it yourself. When you brought someone on,
Yep.
were you doing any type of role play with them, or did you just go, okay, just follow my lead, and then eventually,
Yeah.
how did it go?
It was really played by ear, like off the seat of our pants type thing.
A lot of people do it that way.
A lot
right?
of people do it that way, and it was more like watch me do it, listen to me,
Yeah.
and then we would do it together. I'd listen to him, he'd do the sales, I'd say, okay, you're good.
Okay.
You know, I'd kind of, you know, give him the reins type thing.
And
you know,
now-
then we would share the sales.
How many salespeople do you have on your team total, with setters and people that are doing conversations with people?
Yeah, so including myself with
Yeah.
setters, we have six
That's
people
awesome.
on the team.
That's
we have two
awesome.
setters,
Yes.
one for each location,
Okay.
because we get on average 200 leads a month per location.
And
on
these,
average.
and then obviously you have to do what's called filtering at that
We
point.
filter. So we make about 10% of those sales. So
Okay.
if we get 200 leads, we get about 20%, 10% conversion,
Okay.
which is
20 people.
20 people buy into our program.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And then from there, again, just out of curiosity, I mean, you're dealing with 20 people, you already got your existing database. Out of the 20, what's the lifetime value, and when do they a lot of them renew?
Absolutely. So lifetime value would be the majority are here for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
After 6 weeks, we convert at least 50 to 60%
Good for you.
to a longer term program.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the longer term program could last anywhere from 12 weeks to 6 months to even 56 weeks, like over a year. Right?
Nice.
And sometimes people that right after the 6 weeks, they'll buy a year paid in full.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because they really love it.
Yeah.
They really love our system, and they find it's well fit for them.
That's what's the most gratifying thing that you've had in the last, we'll say, almost 8 years? If you were to look back on the history of your facility and the changes that you've made in the community, because you're touching people's lives, you're changing people's lives. What's a story that comes up where, thanks to the fact that you were able to get somebody to buy a membership with you?
Yep. Great question.
What's-
And that's a recurring thing, because I always hear stories from people that sometimes I don't really know the person that well.
Right.
Because it's my other coaches that
Sure.
work with them. So I'll meet them maybe at a dinner, and we'll get a chance to talk, and they say, well, look at what you've done with this place has been great. You know, here's my story. And they'll tell me how we help them get out of pain. They'll tell me like they have no more back pain. How we changed their lives. Like they're out of breath is gone. You know, so they feel strong, they feel like they have endurance. Their health is back, not back to normal, but even better than it was before.
Even better.
Yeah,
than it
even
was
better.
before. So,
So-
how do they feel about you?
They feel like this is the place that they want to stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's family.
Yeah. So now, this is one of those things where, let's jump back. If you look at what you felt about sales when you first opened, because you knew you wanted to help people, and then it was like, oh yeah, I gotta sell. How did you feel originally about sales? Were you confident going in because you believed in the program?
I didn't really enjoy it so much.
Okay.
I always, in a way, there was an aspect of me dreading it, dreading doing sales.
Yeah.
You know, I guess because sometimes it's a mindset scarcity thing.
Right.
But I wasn't as comfortable with it. You know.
Okay.
Even the process itself, it wasn't comfortable.
How do
at
you
all.
feel about it now?
Easy. It's easy. It's easy. I know I can close.
Yeah.
I know I have that ability to talk to people and to help them. Really.
What sounds like to me is what you're doing, based on, again, we're just two guys having a chat about your business and sales. What you've done is now you're in a position where you can actually select who you want to have come in as clients, whether they're here in the facility or they're dealing with you online.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So what does that do for you as far as being able to select people?
It gives me more freedom.
Yeah.
It gives me more freedom. Like today, I was at home all day and just hanging out,
Nice.
doing stuff. I
Yeah.
know both gyms are taken care of. My staff is here. Sales are being made. Classes are being taught. It's being fulfilled.
Nice.
So I can take more time off and rest or need to do things, whatever I need to do.
And
Right?
you're still doing a lot of stuff, obviously. I mean, the business is able to run without you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave for Venice. You can do, and yet, you know, you've got good people. I mean, you've got good people that are training right now, and yeah, fun. What's if you were to look at it all, anyways, as a business owner, what's the most challenging part for you?
The most challenging part would be, I guess, working with the team.
Yeah.
Even though it's a fun aspect, I love my staff. There's always, you could say, characters to be dealt with.
Right.
And then there's different situations that happen. So
Yeah.
it's just making sure, and that's also a reflection on myself. Say, okay, are things really clear on what the tasks have to be done, or structure. So when I see little issues like that, I say, okay, I look behind. What's the underlying issue. So which is a chance for me to see what my weaknesses are, right? So that's pretty much the most challenging part is having the team, but it's also a necessity in order to scale.
Yeah. Yeah. Scaling, obviously, based on the fact that you would like to see a third location, is something that you need to be able to have. As such, because you have a team and you started off as an army of one and you've been able to grow, what would be your advice to someone listening or watching as far as leadership?
Absolutely.
I mean, in sales, you got to be a leader if you're going to help people make a decision. In this context, as a business owner and a leader of a team, what would be the best piece of advice that come to mind right now?
Yeah, so take ownership of everything that happens inside your business. And whatever things go wrong, it's just a reflection on you and how you run things.
Wow.
Right? Because if you notice that if things go wrong, it could be as a result of what you've been doing in the past.
Yeah.
Right? And then how you can improve. Because things are always changing, always improving. Because I know you just revamped your course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could have kept it the same.
Oh, for sure.
You could have had the same one, which is still a great course, but then you want to make things better.
Correct.
Say, okay, and maybe in a few years you might decide, I'm gonna revamp it, even make a new one, make it even better. Because things are always evolving, right? We're always trying to get better.
Yeah, you're an example of that. You're still getting together with Pavel, he's learning new things.
Yeah.
And he's adapting the way that his foundational approaches are still. It's still a kettlebell, and yet there's other things that are coming to light that obviously are changing the way that you're training people. It's the same thing when it comes to communication. And what we did was, I found other people like Galel, for example. It's like, hey, if I can add this component to what we're already doing, this would be, if I could add a guy like Doug and take what he brings and we add it into the program, and what it does is it changes. It's still a foundation of communication skills. Look how it's changed. Now we can help you with marketing, and now we can help you with not only stuff in the sales perspective. And it leads to this next question. Have you noticed any difference, or I'll ask this question, what are the differences to you since taking on things like learning how to affect label outside of the business? Have you noticed how that has made a difference to your relationships outside of work?
Yeah.
Give me some examples of what that's done for you.
People will open up a lot faster. They feel like right away safer in a way when you speak this way, affect labeling, which is super powerful. So, in the dojo, we talk about these things that if you use the I statement, you take the focus away from them to yourself. You know, so we use affect labeling in this way, but it's really effective.
Yeah.
Really, really effective. It brings relationships closer. And what was Doug saying exactly? He was saying that I think it's the best way to create a quickest bond with someone.
Yeah. It's fascinating. And again, it's fun to hear someone who's been in the dojo now for 6 months.
Yep.
Where you were already successful coming in, and to hear now it's expanding, and it's expanding into your team, and you're able to take what you're learning and you're imparting into other people. If you said there was an aspect of your business that is contingent on growth, what's the thing that you need the most right now? Is it leads? Is it people setting appointments, or is it a close rate? Like, what is it specifically?
In terms of the sales process?
Yeah.
I would say probably, close rate were pretty up there. Leads were pretty up there as well.
Good for you, man.
I think we're good on everything, to be honest. I think sometimes it's also probably the lifetime value, so the renewal.
Right.
After you get a lead, you make the first sale,
Sure.
but after that, what happens?
What's the relationship like? What are the results like?
What are the results like? So ensuring on the back end that we are delivering
Yeah.
those results, and then the people are happy and they stay. In the gyms, summertime is usually a downtime for people, a slow time, and that's normal. So we're looking for ways around that. We're looking
Sure.
for ways to keep them engaged,
Yeah.
keep them coming back, keep them here, rather than say, hey, I'm gonna see you back in the fall. Why would you put a pause on your health?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. If there was something that we could do to help you stay lean and healthy and stay ahead of the game over the course of the summer, would that interest you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Where do you see the sales process for you going, and do you want to get your black belt?
Going through maybe more of the objections, because there's the off objection that you hear once in a while.
Sure. Yeah.
There's some weird cases where.
What's an off
come in.
objection that comes up for you? That
I've had a couple, like we get every now and then these people, they come in and after they say, yeah, I'm interested, and then you go through the process and they're about to pay, and when you tell them that they have to spend their money right here, they'll say, I forgot my wallet.
Yeah, which is
Which is a funny
There's
one.
no way.
It's
Yeah.
a funny one, right?
Yeah.
So we get that once in a while. What's another one? That's been an odd one now and again, but the common ones, we deal with them really well.
Right.
So probably going over the other ones that are less common,
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
It's one of those things that, again, having the skill set and knowing that you've got the heart set, because there's going to be times like if somebody thinks that they're going to close 100% of the people 100% of the time for the rest of your life, it sets this high bar of expectation, which leads to resentment. So if you go, okay, 80% close rate is fantastic, and knowing that there's going to be about 20% of the people that will either say no, even if you gave it to them for free, they wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
and lumped into that is that person who says, I forgot my wallet.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that we can't deal with it, because you have an obligation to everybody who comes through this door, when they come in for your help, you've got to call them at times as to whether or not, and I talked about this before we turned the camera on, are they willing to bet on themselves?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? Give me an example of a moment where you may have been talking with someone and they gave you a ton of objections, and what did you do, not just process-wise, like what were you feeling when somebody said, I want to think about it, which
Yeah.
is what Lisa had said, that was a common one before,
Yeah.
and now you guys are dealing with it. So what were you feeling when somebody would say to you, I
Sure.
want to think about it?
Well, there's one in particular that comes in mind, and it's like, you told me this before, when emotions are high, intelligence goes down.
You got it.
And this lady gave me an objection. She said to me, well, I never make decisions on the fly. I always have to review and think about it before I decide. And I had asked her, I said, well, can you give me an example of what that means for you?
Yeah.
And she said to me, well, when I went to buy a car, I had to go try it out before I made my decision. So I used a logical approach in that sense, and I said to her, that's great. So wouldn't you have to try my program before you had to decide if you would actually want to do it or not?
Right.
So I sold her an assessment.
Perfect.
And then after the assessment, she loved it so much, she signed up for the full program. So at least I got her in for that.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
they'll always try to object logically. So if they want to use logic, I'll come back with that, and then
Yeah.
they'll logically in their mind, well, okay, that makes sense what he's saying.
Yeah.
And that worked well. But it's staying calm during the conversation.
Your level of composure it's clear that you're not going to let emotions get the best of you. It doesn't mean that you don't get emotional. It just means that at least in this conversation and what I've seen in the dojo, you're always like as cool as a cucumber, and you can smirk and, hey, no big deal. what do you attribute that to? Is it part of your past, or is it also the repetitions that you've been able to do over and over and over again that have helped you be this cool?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes I told you I was in prison.
Yeah.
In some situations, you have to keep your cool no matter whatever is going on around you.
Yeah.
And
I can only
when you're
imagine.
around guys that you don't know what they did,
Yeah.
you have to kind of treat everyone with a certain amount of respect and calmness and coolness, where you keep a poker face in a way that doesn't elicit emotions, so you don't get a response out of them. Because the last thing you want is a bad response or a
Right.
negative, let's say, reaction in a way. So if you're neutral all the time, there's no reason for them to give you any type of negative response or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a reaction. So that's the last thing I wanted.
Right.
So I trained myself.
Again, that environment, when you're in a place for 7 years, I recall meeting someone at it was a workshop, and he was an expert, believe it or not, on violence.
Okay.
And what he said was, when you know that there's going to be violence and it's attributed towards you, I'm curious as to, again, this is not a sales thing, it's just two guys having a conversation, and your experience. If you know someone's going to get violent to you and you don't have a way out, this guy was suggesting you have to, if it gets that far, you've got to make sure that you finish the job, because you can't allow someone, out here, the example that people would make would be, hey, you know what, I'm going to restrain you. Are you done? Are you done? Okay. And then you let them go. And that person is going to come back, and they're going to make sure that they get you.
Yeah.
Had you ever encountered anything to that nature, or what did you do to make sure that you were?
I wasn't
Okay.
like necessarily in close contact.
Okay.
But it happened in my area.
Okay.
Frequently.
Okay.
So I made sure that I would stay far away. So, I feel a lot of things, and I kind of feel energy. Sometimes you know in certain situations whether you should be there or not,
Right.
and then you just leave.
Yeah, you just
if
leave.
possible.
If possible, for sure.
So I stayed far away from those type of people that are close encounters.
Now in the position that you're in, you've got a successful business. If you see something going down that's like the weird energy, and like this is not good,
Yeah.
what do you typically do?
I approach it as almost a lifeguard.
Okay.
Because I'm a lifeguard in my studio or my gym.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Right on.
If I see something that's being breached or something that's unsafe, I'll rush and I'll try to help or diffuse the situation, whatever
Nice.
the case may be. So a few times, people I see them, maybe they're not feeling too well, or they have to sit down, or they're, might be feeling unwell or dizzy. They may have to lie down, so I'll rush to them, help them down, and because sometimes you get beginners and they don't eat before a workout, and that's dangerous.
Right.
They're not used to it. Their system is not used to spending that much energy.
Right.
So the blood pressure changes, right? And they feel dizzy, so they have to lie down. And then you tell them, hey, just have a banana before, and they're fine.
Right.
And no problem after
Yeah.
that. But
You're
it
going to burn
happens.
that off in the first 20 minutes anyways.
That's right. So
Yeah.
us as instructors, we have to watch out for those things.
Yeah.
We have to keep an eye for signs.
Okay.
And let's say facial expression that someone makes during an exercise.
Yeah.
If they make a grimace or they make a face, maybe there's pain.
Right.
Maybe there's something they might be feeling they're not supposed to be doing. Right.
So now, if I'm looking at the time, so we'll end with a couple of questions. Speed round. Favorite burger place in Montreal for you?
Notre Bœuf de Grâce.
Notre Bœuf de Grâce. Where
check
is
it
that
out.
located?
They have many locations.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, they have several.
What
And-
makes it so special?
Well, they have a huge menu of burgers.
Yeah.
They even have a secret menu of burgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you know the secret menu, what's your favorite burger there?
There's one called.
Is it on the menu or is it secret?
It's secret.
Okay.
There's one called a heart attack. But they made me.
Coming from you, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Wait, how many patties? How much cheese?
Many. I think it's like over a dozen.
Oh my God.
patties.
Okay.
But every month they have Burger of the Month.
Okay.
And the Burger of the Month is based on let's say, famous person
Okay.
or like a local person
Yeah.
that is well known. And they had me a couple of years ago as the Kettlebell King Burger.
get at what's
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
kettlebell king burger.
I think it's a prosciutto, avocado, mozzarella cheese, and a nice big old patty.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Favorite artist as far as musician?
Great question. I love Michael Jackson.
Dude,
I love Michael Jackson.
I regret not seeing that guy live. Have you ever
No.
seen him live?
No. I was
Have you
too
been to
young.
the Michael Jackson show in I guess
No.
not in Vegas, right? No.
But I watch the movies.
yeah,
And I
I
watch
mean-
the shows and the documentaries.
Favorite movie or top 3 favorite movies in no particular order, and it can change tomorrow.
Star Wars, Terminator, Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, so clearly there's a penchant towards Arnold. Arnold, like, awesome. Which Star Wars? The first or the series? Or
Empire Strikes Back.
dude, Empire is like my number 1 movie of all time.
Yeah.
I remember in being a kid, walking out of the theater, my mind blown.
Wow.
That Yoda was like the little right. The best Jedi is like a puppet essentially, and then Darth Vader is like my hero's dad. Like all of it, and the good
Yeah.
guys lost.
Yeah. I was watching some bloopers by Star Wars bloopers, like
Okay.
some old ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And Yoda was talking, and then the line was going, he's like, well, I still have more lines. And it's saying, like, he's you know. and then-
Jim Henson was the
Yeah.
guy playing that. That's great. So if people want to be able to follow you or see you or find out more about what it is that you do,
Yeah.
because Luca, you've got such a passion for what it is that you're doing. You're helping people, and the nice thing is you're not just doing it here in Montreal. People can find you online.
Yeah, easily.
And you've got clients now expanding all over the world.
Yeah.
So how can they reach you? And then we'll make sure that it'll be in all the details of in the subject matter and under the video. So
Thank you.
Talk to me. Where?
So Instagram is a good place if
Yeah.
you have it. Kettle Beast.
He's the Kettle Beast on IG.
And YouTube is a great channel. Hardstyle Kettlebell Pro.
Awesome. Hey, Luca, I really appreciate you. I look forward to helping you get to 3 locations or more, and
Thanks, Joe.
helping you and your staff. It's so much fun to be able to see how well you guys are doing and the passion that it's not just you, that your team have. I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.